It's time for trigger warning.
Trigger warning! Fuck your feelings, you little snowflake! Triggerwarning.tv.
How dare you!
Hello and welcome to Trigger Warning. It's Trigger Warning Thursday. I'm Hayden Hewitt and I'm joined, as ever, by Miss Graham Booth.
Thanks for respecting my pronouns.
Hey, I'm
all
about the pronouns.
I reckon, I've not mentioned it. I've not mentioned it at all on Twitter, really. I've had a bit of a laugh and everything, but I've not, made a big deal out of it because I'm hoping, after 6 months, someone will misgender me and they'll see that it's been my name for ages and I'll be able to just get rid of people as and when. Because that's what they do, don't they? They get you banned for misgendering them.
Yeah, yes, they do.
Speaking of which, remember that lad in Texas? Was he 7 or 8 year old? And he was living as Luna because his mum was a nutcase.
Yes.
Well, he's now legally, officially James again.
Oh.
She's had it thrown out. They were given joint custody. She kept pushing it, and she pushed it so hard that she's just lost completely now. And he is officially James. Oddly enough, the likes of Vox are still referring to him as her and calling him Luna. So they are intentionally misgendering, which is interesting, isn't it? It's almost as if they lack principles completely.
Who would have thought that hyper woke Vox would like principles? Usually we'd ignore these comments. We had a little giggle about it before, but there was a comment waiting for us in chat, and Alex got in touch with me to tell me. Daniel Blackman said, "No news that you've actually been robbed. Top shilling, lads."
No news. Well, we
Ken
are getting
thief related. Well, I'll get a crime number off the police for you. Shall I post that? And
yeah, we can post all that. We can get he did say he'd send us a still of them actually robbing the studio.
Yeah,
because people might want to see that and all that. So we will.
Well, the interesting thing is Ken thief related. Not particularly adapt to this, but I don't know if I've told the Con O'Keefe story. I'm sure I have. But while people like Daniel were probably still sucking his dick, that is Ken O'Keefe, the anti-Semitic con man that screwed people out of hundreds of thousands of pounds on the promise that he would end them paying income tax, whilst he went on magnificent journeys to the Far East with a young lady.
Yeah, of course he did.
And had what, from as far as I could tell, a very good time. Back in the day when I first met Richie Allen, I went down. I got invited down. They were doing the People's Voice TV thing. I went down there, met David Icke for the first time. We spoke about that before, wasn't that a revelation? And hanging out with Richie. And they asked me if I wanted a show on TPV. Because I was doing the Live League show at the time.
Of course, yeah.
And I said, no, I can't do one. And they said, is it the David thing? I said, no, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I don't care about the healing crystal. I don't care about anything. I don't want to be on a platform with Ken O'Keefe. I said, I'm not saying take him on. You just crack on because he's a draw. I won't share a platform with a dick like him. I've always had a problem with that guy, and I was proven right. So if you're going to call us thieves, pick a better one than Ken O'Keefe, because that guy's a prime scumbag.
You just whispered healing crystals for a moment then, and it just because I've become a huge fan of them over the last couple of days. I have.
I genuinely still don't really understand them, but more power to the people that do, because as we know, Mark Bajerski has been a huge friend to Trigger Warning, and I don't think he's watching. I don't know what he's doing, but again, massive thanks to Mark Bajerski, who's just been fucking incredible, and of course the big baldy gammon Richie Allen as well.
Yeah, big love, Richie, big love.
Helped us out.
I've literally, I have never. The nicest thing I've said about Richie is that he's wrong for all the right reasons. It's and yet he fucking stands by us. He stands by our right to express ourselves and our right to explore ideas and discuss things and everything. And you know what? When it's come down to it, after the studio thing, big fucking love for him.
Do you know, that's the thing with Richie. I've known him quite a few years now. I think it's 5-6 years. And I get asked all the time from people from different arenas, the ones that accuse him of being a shill to the ones that accuse him of being anti-Semite. Why are you friends with him because of this, that, the other? It's like, well, you're going off sound bites from his radio show, but he's just a good guy.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Me and Richie disagree almost constantly, but he's a good bloke, and that's where it ends. That's just where it ends for me.
I mean it. Even all that nonsense about socialism he's always screaming about. I know he's coming from a good place where he wants people taken care of. I know that's the root of it, and I respect him for it. He's wrong, but I respect him, and I respect his opinion as well. By the way, guys, I don't have shit on my nose. By the way, in one of my beating sessions with my daughter, to sort of keep her well behaved, she scratched my nose trying to defend herself a little bit. So, I got a cut on my nose. You see it?
Yeah, it's good that.
Oh, yeah, she got
Don't
me.
worry, chicks dig scars. It's fine.
Yeah.
So,
I got this one from my daughter.
Got this one fighting a 4-year-old.
Got it fighting a 4-year-old.
I won, by the way. Yeah.
I won. Yeah.
I overcame. I adapted. Now okay. We've got a few things to talk about. Obviously, it's Brexit Eve.
Yes.
Brexit Eve.
I've got the fire on. Yeah, been getting cozy. Been having some mulled wine, and it's lovely. Lovely.
And a lot of people saying it isn't Brexit. It's not real. But you know what? It's what we've got. And
it's a big fucking step in the right direction.
Of course it is.
I mean, they've already said they're not doing Article 13. Article 13 was passed before Brexit. Before this date, it's already gone through. So if they're already doing that, I mean, that might just be it's already not Brexit in name only, because we've already said there's something we're not going to do. We're already making a break in terms of regulation.
Well, what's interesting is a Liberal Democrat representative was on the radio today, talk radio. Now, for those who aren't from the UK, the Liberal Democrats are a party that are neither Liberal nor Democrat. Not Liberal, not Democratic. They're basically conservative light. They're kind of like a woke Tory. This guy was saying, Brexit's not over by a long shot. There are intense, complicated negotiations that we must overcome first.
Yeah.
Fair enough. True enough.
Yeah.
What got me was what he said next. And we, in the Liberal Democrat Party, believe it's important that pro-European voices are part of these negotiations. Now, pardon me if I'm being fucking naive and stupid, but no matter what you think of Brexit, if your country is in negotiations with another power, shouldn't we just be pro-Britain in these negotiations?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would we have a pro-European voice in negotiations? Who do you want there? You're having an important negotiation. Let's say you're negotiating with another person and you're going, I want X. And they go, well, we want Y. Yeah, but I want X. To have someone on your side going, you should probably give them Y. Fuck off.
Right. A good negotiation is when everyone walks away happy. Yes, of course it is. Everyone walks away with like, all right, yeah, no, that was a good thing.
Yeah.
I sell you an orange. I get a bit of money and you get an orange, assuming you wanted the orange. Everyone's happy. And it's a similar thing here, only on a much larger scale. But the people working for us are not what the Lib Dems would call pro-European. No. I want pro-European in the Boris sense at this point. In that, like, yes, we want to do trade with you. Yes, we want to.
But that's not pro-European. That's pro-trade.
Yeah, exactly. But not pro-Europe in terms of like stopping Brexit. Just like effing off to all the things.
Do you not just find it dead creepy that they're so anti-Brexit in Britain that they want to be pro-European in negotiations? You're never pro the person you're negotiating with. You can be pro a good deal. You can look for a deal that makes everyone happy. But pro-European indicates you're biased towards the people you're trying to get the most efficient trade deal out. And whilst we say everyone happy is the result, the best result is that you're slightly happier in any deal.
That you feel like you are.
No, but that's the way it works, isn't it? Yeah. That's the way it works. If you go and buy an orange... Oh, I've got an orange. The guy's thinking, I've got your money. I got the better deal. I've got 1,000 oranges.
Well,
That's the
yeah,
important part about trade, isn't it? That you feel you got a
yeah.
little bit better out of it.
You feel you do. I mean, well, let's use an iPhone as an example then. Like Apple's selling you one iPhone. They're not going to miss that iPhone. But if you've got a brand new latest model iPhone, you're walking out of there really happy.
Of course,
And
ideally,
and so both parties feel like they're winning.
No, you're right.
That's
But ideally, they'd feel a bit worse. I'm just saying.
The French ones.
Just that, they've had us. And I know it's not going to happen. But in my ideal world, the French would be bitterly disappointed at the outcome of trading. I hope because we've already said about we won't let the Europeans fish in our waters. They have no automatic right. We will give some of that away in negotiations. I hope, though, that the French do what the French usually do and the Spanish and just do it anyway, and that the Royal Navy fucking sinks them.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? We become the next Iran, just fucking holding boats hostage. Fuck you, man.
Oh, you're allowed to sink them. You're allowed to sink them. I'm sure you are. I'm sure that's legal. If they're fishing in your waters, you can sink them.
We should start arming our fishing boats, shouldn't we? Like,
just build up the Navy a bit. Don't they? Because they're not going to shit themselves when they see a fishing boat, but they might when they see a great big carrier bearing down on them.
We used to have the greatest Navy in the planet, Aidan. I tell you what, suck a bit of American cock, we could still be up there, couldn't we, eh? You'd just be like, yeah, of course, Trump. Yeah, we're with you on this shit, man.
Oh, that's even worse for the Spanish fishermen, isn't it? The US Navy.
Dude, we could invade Portugal. No one cares about Portugal.
No.
Whoever says, like, what's going on in Portugal? They keep lying about it being socialist now. And they keep saying Portugal's socialist now.
It put the P in pigs, didn't it?
They just lie about it because they know no one's going to bother checking. Just like, yeah, of course, sweet.
I think people went on holiday there in the 80s, I think, but they also used to go to Yugoslavia and look how that ended up.
It's a disgrace, man. I wouldn't go there. Hey, where would
Yugoslavia?
You
go? You can't.
Where would you? Well, yeah, that's a good point. Where would you go with your kids? Where would you feel safest?
America.
Yeah.
America.
Which part of America, though?
Any part of America.
Just any of it, even like the ghettos in Baltimore.
Any part of America. Well, of course, I'm not going to go to the ghetto. It's going to be like Orlando, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I know what you say. Well, anywhere meaning like LA Beach or
Disney World.
Disney World or the very brightly lit parts of New York. I really want to take my little girl to Thailand, man, but it's a bit of a mission, when in reality I'm romanticizing it because I've been out there a few times, so I know it really well. The reality is I could just jump on an all-inclusive to Spain and she'd be just as happy. There'd be heat and, beaches and water and all that, and it's not going to make a fucking difference.
You've just had a telling off.
Wow, what's happened?
You just had a telling off. Apparently, Portugal helped us kick Boney up the arse.
What the fuck are you talking about, man? I don't care. It's Brexit. It's a new world,
Those
man.
days are gone, dude. You shouldn't have done it. Tough shit,
It's the Fifth Reich. We're doing this now.
With King Boris.
Why do you think we've had open borders for 20 years, man? We've been building up the populace.
I see that the
all
Trump,
the fighters.
Yeah, it's all kicking off, and the Trump negotiated peace deal in the Middle East surprisingly had completely the opposite effect. It's all gone mad.
It'll all be fine. It'll all be fine.
Apparently, it's a terrible insult. It's a terrible insult.
Well, you know what? Considering, most countries in that area's official policy is to eradicate Jews off the planet, I think them being a bit pissy and burning flags is a step in the right direction, to be honest.
It's like someone said on here, and I do wonder, like in Tehran, is there a shop that sells Union Jacks and Israeli flags and things? Because that's really weird. They always seem to have one. Do you know what? If someone said tomorrow, down with America, I wouldn't have a flag to burn. I don't own any flags. Any flags.
If Trump pushed the Queen over, I'd probably have to burn my MAGA hat, wouldn't I? I'd be there going, "Fuck you, America." Not that I can find it because it's still missing since we moved.
American Rebellion just said, Chiefland, Florida, we all carry guns. I know, I was told this when we visited Florida, and I told a guy in a truck to go fuck himself when he nearly ran me over, and someone did remind me that you shouldn't get too in people's faces because they are armed. That was only the day before I was told off by a policeman for taking a shortcut through some long grass. Because he said there's alligators.
Yeah. You do have to consider those things. It's different in America though. Like people. I mean, it's not so bad now. But you remember when we were growing up, man? Like at midnight till 1 a.m. every Friday and Saturday was a fucking war zone in the city centre. Do you remember?
Gosh,
all the pubs came out, and it was just fighting everywhere. People just kicking the fuck. You know that New Year's Eve image went viral because that was like New Year's Eve is the only time that it really gets like that because we've staggered it now. But an American pointed out, like very rightly so, that doesn't happen in the States because you've got to fucking pay for it. You don't just sit there with the ambulance demanding they stitch you up. You know you're going to have to fucking pay for it.
Well,
so
it's
you don't
part of
do
what
it.
makes Britain great, so you just fucking reel your neck in, both.
All right.
It's a funny thing, and a lot of people around the world, they see our policemen, or they think we're all stiff upper lip and all that. And they say, like, we don't have guns. You are talking about a country where most pubs don't even let you have glasses. You have a soft plastic. Because too many people were getting glasses pushed into their faces. It's an island full of fucking animals. I'm not saying we're all big and tough. We just have a lot of fucking nutcases. I don't want to give them guns. I wouldn't give them a fucking spoon given half the chance. So,
hey man, you can do it. You can do a lot with a spoon, eh?
Yeah. I know several people who could do terrible things with a fucking spoon. That's why I wouldn't give them one. Like you,
give me 1 second.
Butter, you fucking weirdo.
Give me just a second, dude. Wait.
I'm waiting. What's he got to do? Adjust the band on his daughter's headphones.
There we go.
Oh, they're much better.
I thought the sound was on your end, but it was my headphones telling me they had low battery. It kept going, dun, dun, dun. So if you watch this back or you're not watching it, you've seen like 3 or 4 times me just going, what? Like that. And it's my own headphones going, low battery. And I'm like, what are you doing, Aidan?
Dippy Derrick said he'd rather be Welsh than what? What are the other options? Before I jump on this one, what are the other options?
What's good about being Welsh?
Did you see that thing we're talking about flags there in Iran? Did you see that thing where they put them on the floor for people to put the shoes on when they go in the mosque or to get the students? None of the students would walk over them.
Yeah, and they were doing bigger and bigger flags, and people were just going out of the way to
and the interior police people were there, weren't they, walking across them?
Yeah, that kind of backfired, didn't it? We've all gone quiet on Iran now, haven't we? Sort of, it all worked out for the best.
Everyone got what they wanted, didn't they? Including Iran. Iran got to look like they give America a bloody nose. Trump got what he wanted. Look, nobody was killed, apart from salami. So everyone got what they wanted. It was a deal. It was the art of the deal.
And with a little bit of luck as well, they're one step closer to actually, getting a bit of liberty in that country as well. Actually having a bit of revolution, seeing those
without having the democracy bombed into them.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though. Like they're sort of, because that obviously, like, despite Michael Moore's weird, fucking ridiculous narratives straight out of a lazy leftist Hollywood blockbuster, all those students that were avoiding the American and the Israeli flag, they want something, man, and they're going to feel fucking there, and they're going to be feeling it.
It's important to remember, I was saying to Richard, up until the 1950s, Iran was one of the most forward-facing nations in the world. They had a good relationship with Iraq. They had a good relationship with Israel. Iraq especially did at one point. Things were more chilled. A couple of wars they had in the region, everyone chilled out a bit. It's only because what us and the Americans did, deposing leaders and fucking this, that's the only reason Iran turned into a shithole. The people still don't want that. But I do understand when I've seen interviews with young people going, well, we know our leaders are shit, but we don't want you telling us what to do either.
No, and that's what it's got to be. There's this thing like I would really love it if democracy was there, people had liberty. The liberty that I myself want. Not that I'm saying we're even close to as oppressed as they are, but it's not on us to go and physically do that there. You know, it's not like Iraq where we just roll through in 3 days and just hope for the best at the end of it all. It can't happen like that, you know. It has to come from the people.
Top Haroon there pointed out the plane full of civilians killed in the recent fracas. Not going to defend Iran. It's well documented my thoughts of the Iran leadership and basically that they're dog shit. But that plane thing, you just know. You know, and it's like you said on your show, and it's on show because we spoke about this. You've just launched an attack on an American base. You're going to be like a long-tailed cat in a room full of fucking rocking chairs. Because you don't know what America's going to do. You don't know if America's going to stand back and think, or if America's going to come in and fucking glass your entire country. Plane went over and they just shot that fucker out the sky. And unusually for Iran, said, yeah, we did that. They came right out and said it. Why would they do that? They didn't have to. Could have held on to the black boxes and it would have carried on. They went, yeah, we did that.
Well, I tell you what happened. Trigger Warning put out a video
hours
before the Pentagon did. Yeah, we did it. It was us. We forced their hand. Once it hit 200 views, boom, they shit themselves.
Well, not that it's any consolation to their relatives. But it was good to see all the conspiracy guys online saying, why would Iran do that? It's ridiculous. It wasn't Iran. It's Mossad. And then just a few hours later, Iran went, yeah. No, it was definitely us. We did that. I'm terribly sorry. It was nice because the conspiracy people just moved on to the next.
Yeah.
I was reading the ones that I read. Not one of them went, do you know what? Dropped bollock there. Okay, fair enough. They just, no, okay. Let's just... Because it seems you can overlook a lot of stuff unless Israelis are involved.
Yeah, it all drifts, doesn't it? Dude, right? I asked you this early, right? It's a slight departure from what we were just talking about, but I can't remember if we talked about Terry Christian already or not, and I still can't remember. I didn't even bother going to check, actually.
I'm sure we did mention him.
Did we?
Because I checked online, I think, and I am still blocked by him.
That was it. Yeah. Did you check live? You did check live anyway.
Yeah, I think I did. It was because of the Jimmy Savile thing that he blocked me.
He's in his really clever move today, though. He's just sort of become a Brexiteer, and he's spouting.
Oh, he's always been rampant on that. He's been rampant for years.
But I mean, rather than being a Remainer, though, like he's like. He thinks he's ironically pointing out slogans like, stop talking Brexit down and support the NHS. But what he's actually tweeted that today, and in his like twisted world, that's him going, nah, I showed you with me facts. But it's like, no, that's kind of like what we want to do, though. That is what's happening right now. Like, we're going into Brexit, and the NHS is getting more funding. In fact, I know for a fact there's a huge pay rise coming in April. That it's odd, isn't it? That all the unions are being quiet about that, isn't it? All the people that talk up the NHS, none of them are talking about this pay rise that's coming in April, like a significant one, not an inflation one, like a proper one. It's odd, isn't it? That none of them fucking mention it.
Oh no, you can't mention it. It's like when Trump, anything positive with Trump, you're not allowed to talk about. You remember I used to get a load of stick because I'd criticised Trump. And I only stopped doing that when everybody was doing it because it got boring. So it's time to start looking at the good things and get the rage from the other side. Just in there, Jason Williamson has very kindly said, if you guys ever need help remodelling your studio or office, give me a shout as I was in shop and hotel renovation.
Oh,
thank you, Jason. We'll make a note of your...
Yeah, Jason, are you the guy that messaged us over Christmas about this? Because we were trying to remember who it was who said it. Take a picture so I remember as well.
I'll use the loudest keyboard in the world.
Everything with me is photos and screen grabs. I'm like some sort of weird, like in a movie, I'd be the autistic guy that solves the flu, the deadly flu that's killing everyone, and it's like, no, it's all there in my pictures, man. But none of them could connect the dots.
Alan said, "Oh yeah, massive 5p rise on the minimum wage." Yeah, but you know what? It's a rise.
No. That's not the rise that the NHS is getting. The NHS workers are getting a considerable pay rise.
But the thing is, it's a rise. Whatever it is, it's a rise. It's not the other way, which is where everything was going. a lot of the Remainers have this remarkably naive idea that everything's great under the EU. The EU's got major problems. Major fucking problems. And they're going to get worse once we're not giving them all the money.
Yeah, well, they're just drifting into big business protectionism, and everyone's all hammering on about globalism and big businesses and the evils of corporations and everything. But then there's this weird blind spot when it comes to the EU, and yet that's exactly what they do. Article 13 was designed to protect this big business. Yeah. The whole copyright thing, they're like, no, memes and everything, they're all protected. You can still do that. You're just going to have to buy scanning software. You're going to have to hire staff to monitor what's going up and check it. And it's like, well, big businesses can absorb that. You know, they can hire 5 more people.
Oh, they just don't. Not only that, they don't give a fuck.
Pricks like us.
Oh, we get screwed. No, it's like, Google will just pay the fines. I don't give a shit. They'll turn Europe off. They've got leverage.
Yeah, that's the thing. Or they just stop people posting, stop people putting stuff up.
A comment from Cup of Tea regarding when we were talking about the BBC. Oh, by the way, before going on the subject of YouTube, I've noticed a lot of vape reviewers are getting the channels pulled. They were told you can't put links to where these things are for sale. So one guy, Vaping with Vic, went through and took all the links out for hundreds and hundreds of videos. Still getting community strikes, and they won't tell him why. Another big one's lost him. So I've been chatting with a guy called Jay Hayes, who is a big-time vape reviewer, smashing haircut, very similar to mine. He's also a comedian and all-round, he's one of those guys, when I first started watching him, I thought, I'm not sure, and then over time, you really appreciate the way he is. But we're going to try and get him on the show once we're settled and back up and running, because they're trying to put him out of business in real life.
Once we've got our new buttons, Hayden, in the studio,
once we have our new buttons. But they're trying to put him out of business. They're trying to take his livelihood away. And Cup of Tea said, will the BBC survive, and do you meet any of these knobs at Salford? I don't go to Salford.
I am aware of a lot of them, and it's hilarious as well, because the whole BBC thing of hiring based on skin color and sexuality. There's a lot of gay black people who come from very wealthy families, who are very well educated, who've just been pushed up the thing, and you're just like, that doesn't make any sense. Which is exactly what happens when you hire by skin color, in this environment, because
Alistair Stewart loses a job.
I know.
Don't even get me started. I'm so annoyed by that.
Yeah, what is it? Martin Shapland. I've got it up here actually, because I was growling at him earlier.
He's a race baiter. He's a racist.
He is. He
is
a
Alistair
racist.
Stewart, the guy you got him kicked off.
Yeah, no, he totally is. He if anyone wants to see, it's at Shapland, MS Hapland on Twitter, and the man's an arsehole. He spends all day just tweeting about, like, this is racist, that's racist, you've got white privilege, all
cheesecake,
this
calling everyone cheesecake.
Yeah, he compared Savid Javid to that little dude from Lord of the Rings, what's he called? Holding up the ring, the Precious, which again is like going off their own rules. That's dehumanizing. That's racist.
I also don't see where but I don't even see where he tweeted it to him. Maybe I'm not seeing it.
That's just a picture that he shared.
But here's the quote: "But man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what he's most assured, his glassy essence, like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before high heaven, as makes the angels weep, who, with our spleens, would all themselves laugh mortal." One word he focused on in that, and it clearly wasn't used. Yeah, it's straight to race. I can get this old guy.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done. 67 years old, 68, whatever. 40 odd years in TV, probably very close to a staggeringly wonderful pension. And all of this time, suddenly, he's got a massive racist. I was talking to Daz of Trigger Warning, Daz, who does Beyond the Pale on Trigger Warning Radio at 10 o'clock every Sunday evening. And he was like, what was it? He's only like weeks away from retirement. I was like, I just can't keep it in anymore. I just can't keep it in. 40 years, I can't wait another couple of months. Away he goes. And by the way, I'm pretty sure I pronounced some of those words wrong for Shakespeare. Like I said, assured, he's probably assured. and all this weird shit. But I really fucking hate Shakespeare. I'm not gonna lie, it's very boring. Very boring. In college, they made me sit through King Lear. I aged 5 years and got irritable bowel syndrome. It was terrible.
That sounds like that's just another way of saying it made you into a man, Hayden.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I walked out of that room a man.
Job done. Thank you, Shakespeare. That's why. Whether you like it or not, that's why he's the man.
But I felt so bad for Alistair Stewart because, as you know, I have a real soft spot for Alistair Stewart anyway.
Yeah, me too, actually. Me too.
I like the fact he was constantly campaigning. I know what the opinions of myself and many other people are on the mainstream media, but he was going into online battle with other journalists and presenters about impartiality.
All the time, constantly fighting at it, constantly correcting people as well if they're wrong.
And if you ever watch him, you can't now. He was constantly impartial.
Yeah, he is a decent guy. In fact, he had a thing with me. The only time he's tweeted me was he said, "Who is Owen Jones?" And I can't even remember what I said now, but it included the word fool. There were several words to my reply, and he quote tweeted me saying, "No, he's a lot of things, but he's certainly no fool." And I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right, actually." you know, you can call him a lot of things.
If only he was still on Twitter, he could go back and go, "Fuck off, racist."
Fucking racist.
I win. Yeah.
I'm not taking any shit from no racist. Fuck you, man. No, but respect to him. I'm not even selling properly the way he worded it. But he put me in my place. He put me down. And here's the thing: if I'd have been black like Carl Martin here, I could have cried racism.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? But it's not. He talked like that to everyone. He's like a proper granddad. You know, he could have been a school teacher.
I just liked his approach and the fact that he would argue passionately about it was his job to report what he saw as the facts impartially. And you watch someone else, let's say, apparently you shouldn't just single people out, but Tom Bradby, who also does the ITN News, all these little snidey remarks and asides, and I don't like that in a newsreader. I know that's what people want. Everyone's basically a glorified YouTube commenter now. That's not what I want from a newsreader on a flagship television news program.
No.
I was raised with guys like Alistair Stewart and fucking Sandy Gall and Alistair Burnett, the old school guys that they just delivered.
Yeah, tell me the facts.
Yeah.
That obviously there's going to be a thing. I remember when I went to film school, one of my tutors was ex-BBC News, and they'd always show us, we'd always watch, we'd often go on local stuff when we were talking about journalistic approaches and stuff, and they'd show us BBC and ITV. And she'd always go, "Oh, that was quite good for the ITV, wasn't it?" Always like because she had this bubble of the ITV being shit, but ITV News is actually really.
It's probably the most reasonable one of all of them. I mean, Sky News is a fucking basket case.
I like Sky News though. There's this low key panic to it that I enjoy.
The BBC is just a mess. Channel 4 News. Ugh. Channel 5 News, do they even have a news programme?
They do, but it's just it's just some fit girl.
ITN was always reliable.
Yeah, no, really good. Pisses all over the whole, like, what would we do without the BBC narrative?
We've got ITN.
Because you know what? They've got fucking respect for themselves on ITV and they've got respect for the news. Yeah, a lot of the shows are trash, but ultimately, it's what people want to fucking watch. Who am I to judge? You know what I mean?
Well, the BBC are having another 40 million, being a total of 80 removed from their news budget.
Yeah, I know. 80 million removed, Hayden. Why is it not running for that much in the first place?
Well, why do they need 6,000 people working for BBC News? Why do they send 3 and 4 news crews out from different BBC shows to cover an event? Because they don't care, because their money was guaranteed. You know, there's now, instead of cutting back on things they shouldn't be competing in, light entertainment, things like that, big stars pay, they should just be bringing new people through. And why do they have to compete in ratings? I don't understand. That shouldn't be the BBC's job.
Well, there's the thing, though. That's the Mott and Bailey argument with the BBC, though, isn't it? Because one of the defenses of the BBC is, well, we produce programs that don't rely on ratings, that are like niche things. And to be honest, I get that, and I respect that as a place to come from. But then they also say, oh, but we have to compete as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you fucking doing?
Well, all
You don't
these
need to do
niche
The
things
Voice.
they bury on their dead channels,
Mm.
and BBC One is just trying to compete with ITV and Sky and light entertainment. And
Yeah, but why
I'd
though?
rather did wildlife programs, documentaries. That's what you want from the BBC.
And properly fund the news as well. Their news output is shite at the moment. It's absolutely awful.
Well, it's going to get worse now. The 80 million's being dragged out, the bastard.
Yeah, but you know what? It needs to go. I mean, right. Here's the thing, man. People are hammering on about the BBC like it's all or nothing, and it's not. The BBC website is one of the biggest websites on the planet, especially for news. Like I check the rankings all the time. It's always in the top 10. In Europe, it goes to first place all the time.
Publicly funded as well. Publicly funded.
And you know what? With the amount of traffic that gets, would a few ads around the side kill it? Really?
Well, that's the thing that pisses me off. They are a commercial venture. They do raise revenue from selling programs that we've paid for.
They do, yeah.
And they make a lot of money.
They somehow survive in all these other countries with adverts playing on it. All the shows are 45 fucking minutes long on it now, so that we're ready for the American audience. Doctor Who's 45 minutes. All these big shows come out at 45
Just
fucking
need to
minutes.
fucking get rid of the BBC and be done with it.
I just don't see why they can't just put that shit on YouTube, man. Like, the only reason I even watch Sky News is because they go live on YouTube. If I literally want to see what's hitting the headlines right now, I can just stream that to my telly straight away. I'll just have it on in the background. And that's the only reason. Why the fuck is BBC not there? They could be hammering out. They could have a live news channel, and then they could have a second channel that's just segments.
Yeah.
And they could be banging out 30 fucking segments a day. They could be the world leaders for facts, for information. But they don't, because they're clinging on to this license fee.
Oh, yeah.
And the average audience member, what was the minimum age? Was it 62 or something like that? It's like...
What is it? It's some massive percentage of women that are imprisoned in the UK are actually for non-payment of the TV license.
Yeah, and it's old ladies as well. Imagine knocking on an old lady's door to tell them that you've been illegally watching TV. You fucking insane. It's as if they'd care about a few adverts. What the fuck do they?
Well, I'm sick of people telling me, like, you get some people, oh, you prick, it's only fucking X amount of pounds a month. What does it matter? It's like, well, do you know what? I'd rather that was in my pocket being spent on me kid.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to consent to that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. How can it be? How can we live in a country that can force you by law to support a corporation?
Yeah. I mean, dude, don't get me wrong, man. When my daughter was younger, I used to put CBeebies on for her. She never graduated to CBBC because the world's better than that now, isn't it? We've got Netflix and YouTube and all sorts of amazing stuff. But, I would have happily subscribed to CBeebies for 2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
Happily. Honestly, between 6 and 7, that they had a certain type of programming that was chilling out for bed. They had a story. It was always a big celebrity. It was like really famous people reading the story, and it became part of our routine, and even if she didn't watch it, the sounds we heard helped us settle. And we had a little bath that we put in the living room here. Oh, it was lovely, and it was a whole thing that we did. I would have happily paid for that, happily, but to force me to pay for that for my entire life is insane.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And the people they send out are arseholes.
Yeah.
They hand out as private companies that bully people, especially if they don't think you're vulnerable, they'll not bother you, They just won't. Like I say, I have to pay mine because my wife wouldn't allow me not to.
Oh, I've told you, man. They used to send, when I worked at homeless hostels, they used to send people round because the letter of the law is that every individual room had to have its own license. We had a license, the building had a license for the communal room. Of course we fucking did. It was run by Manchester City Council. But each individual room, if the homeless dude that's trying to get off heroin wanted to have a shitty little TV from cash converters in his room, then, I'm sorry, mate, 160 quid a year or whatever the fuck it is. Fuck off. Fuck off.
I always remember that one.
I was like, none of them are in. I'm so sorry. I legally, I didn't have to answer the door or knock or anything. I was just like, I'm sorry, no one's in today.
Remember,
They're all at work, mate.
but we
Sorry.
just moved into our last place, and I just hadn't done it yet, and they turned up. We're checking the area, and I was like, well, all right, yeah, I ain't got one. I think it was when Junior was just born. So, or he was a toddler, and right, well, can we come in and have a look? I said, no, you can't. You can go on, do one. Right, well, I could look through the window. I said, I've got a toddler in there, mate. I don't think you can peep through the window. So he got on, he tried getting stroppy, and in the end he went, well, we'll just have to go legal. I said, oh, you'll probably need my name for that, won't you, to take me to court? He went, yeah. I went, that's right, go on, fuck off. Never heard back from him. In the end, I had to pay because I didn't want to. But, you know, Mrs. Hewitt is very straight down the line and has a different opinion to me. I just wanted to keep telling him to fuck off.
Yeah,
because
mine's the same.
I would never give him my name, never give him fuck on. Go on, fuck off. But the thing is, you watch it. We don't watch it.
No. Right, literally the only terrestrial TV I watch is when I put Sky News on YouTube. And you know what? Sky News have got their own funding revenue, and YouTube have got their things, so they'll pay adverts, whatever. It's all taken care of. I don't need the BBC in that equation at all. And the one and only thing that I used to watch was Doctor Who, and they fucked that up the ass.
It's a fucking joke. I think Smoke Steve, when he says, well, you guys are fucked. If the BBC lived up to the ideals it was based on, do you know what? I'd probably think it was all right. I still wouldn't like to be compelled. In this day and age, it should be a choice. We have the technology to do that. Happy Dogs just said, if HH didn't have Mrs. Hewitt, he'd be dead in a skip. The woman is a saint. That's remarkably accurate.
Yeah.
That's every stupid thing I've considered, Mrs. Hewitt has put me right. She's a remarkably tolerant woman, I've got to say. I've been very lucky.
We've both had a few conversations where it's ended and we've both just gone, right, okay, well we'll go talk to our respective partners about this, and then once we've had a bit of common sense ejected into us, we'll see if it's still a good idea.
Well, I say we've been together 26 years. So I don't even need to be told now. I just look at the look, and I know exactly where I stand at that point. So I I've had this great idea. Let me tell you, it's not a good idea. It's not good. It's a terrible idea. I'm just going in the other room now.
She gave me a big cuddle today. I was telling her about the fundraiser, and she was saying how happy she is, because obviously, we've got a kid, we've got bills to pay, so when I'm putting loads of effort into something that doesn't really pay very much, and then now that I'm doing something where there's a lot of money being thrown at us, but we're not going to touch any of it. It's all going to go on a studio, baby, a studio. You're not going to believe it. It's going to be amazing. She gave me a big hug and she said she was really made up for. She was really happy that we've got so many people that enjoy the show enough to support us as they have been doing.
It's been incredible, hasn't it?
Dude, we've had an amazing few days with it. Amazing. Like obviously I've got this funeral this weekend and there's this whole big family thing that we're going to do. I have been fucking miserable all week, man. Like I don't see that much of my family. And so I've been like my head's been wrecked. And then every now and again I'd go on the GoFundMe, or I'd be getting like private messages of people saying, I've just thrown you a tenner or whatever. And it's been fucking amazing. It's really got me through the week. We'll be back in the studio soon. It's happening. It's fucking happening. I'm so happy, and it's going to be better. I mean, we're going to have to show it off. We'll have to get Richie in and do an interview.
Oh yeah.
Well, you and Richie can argue, and our vision mix like a motherfucker. It's going to be amazing.
Well, the other, it's all that you can't live in cloud cuckoo land, but as difficult things are, if I've got a couple of jobs out to tender. So if one of them comes off, I'll pick up at least one more camera as well. I'll invest. I'm going to say fucking quietly. I'll invest a little heavier again. It was easy when things were good.
I think she just wants to get rid of me on Thursdays again, just have a guaranteed day where I'm going to piss off.
Oh, it's just, it's amazing because I think, when you do anything, You don't know how good it is. You've got no fucking idea. We know we enjoy it. You know, and don't get me wrong. I don't think it's of any massive importance what we do. It's just another couple of, you know, a small show with a couple of blokes on it standing up and going, no, fuck you, we'll say what we like. But when people get in touch and go, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And it's, you know, it's like, oh, thank you. You know, just we didn't know.
The thing that I like is, whilst we're gushing about all the people that watch, is obviously because we talk and we share our thoughts all the time. For people before they send us direct messages, there's almost that slight feeling of knowing us, because they do. They know what our kids have been up to. They know what we've been doing. They know how we feel about stuff. So when they private message us on Twitter or whatever, they already kind of know us. So there's this weird familiarity thing there, and we've got like maybe 200 people who always watch, you know, be it live or after the event or whatever. There's 200 plus solid people who always catch what we're watching, what we're doing, and to me, there's 200 people that message as a friend. It's just fucking amazing, man.
It's been genuinely touching for.
I don't deserve it, man. All the mistakes I've made in my life, I deserve to be fucking lonely and all the rest of it.
That's true.
Yeah, I do.
I don't. I deserve much better. I'm slumming it right now. Just read an email, but don't read it out. Okay. Oh, hang on. Oh no, that's totally not really. That's totally business.
Oh, okay.
It's an email off Minds.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand Minds.
You know, I have. Wait, is this the mental health charity?
No.
Oh, right. Because I was gonna say I really like Minds, but a friend of mine who I can't stand volunteers for them. So I have this weird thing where I'm like, they're awesome, but she's such a prick, and it muddies the water for me, you know.
I was gonna say, thanks, the Vapist. We'll look into that, mate. We'll look into that. I've got to acknowledge it. We never get emails when we do these shows, so.
And if we do, Cherry just replies. I love that when we go off air and you just look over at the email machine and he's just been having little conversations. You can see like the thread of several mails, and then you got him. He's like, no, not even. Oh, I'm having a chat with so and so. Just nothing. No.
Poor old Cherry.
I know.
Are we doing it this week? No. I'm still not doing it this week. Well, he does it. He just every Thursday he sends me a text. Are we on tonight, boss? Yes or no? Yes or no? So hopefully we'll be able to say yes, mate. Yes, we are. Because that'd be cool. And then we can have Cherry back sitting in the corner, trying to not be noticed for a couple of hours.
I know, bless him. What's he gonna do when Richie's down, eh?
Oh,
it'll be
brutalized.
Like he's gonna come in and Richie will already be in the chair, and he'll just be like, "Oh no, this is where I sit."
Yeah, I've got this. Do you honestly think Cherry would be that upset if he said, "You can just hang out on the couch, mate. I'll just chat to you during this show"?
Nah, he wouldn't mind.
Smug Steve said, "Just have Cherry sit behind you."
just pop it out.
Was it during the meet space? It was Tez, wasn't it? Bless him. I heard from Tez the other day. We don't see enough of Tez. We should.
No, we need to get him down again.
We should see more of Tez. Was it during meet space he came over to the desk? He was looking for batteries or something, but he was just like, I'm in the middle of delivering like a monologue. All right, mate, don't mind me. I'm just picking things up round you. And, do you know where the batteries are?
He was the perfect example, right? Because, you know, in terms of like working on a film, and you know this, you don't necessarily hire the most qualified or experienced person. You get people like Tez, because even though he fucks up and even though he didn't know how things worked, and do you know what I mean? Like, he was banging the mics on his leg that was just coming through. I was like, stop it, you know, and all that. But his attitude was absolutely spot on, perfect. Like if you're going to spend 12 hours on a set or do a live event,
you want him.
That's who you want there.
Yeah. Lots of energy, always cheery.
Yeah. You know? And on it as well, like, oh, there's a problem here, let me find a solution. Like, even with him coming over when you're on the desk, that's what you need. You know, that even if it's a moment like that,
but luckily it fits so well with what we do anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's just trigger warning, isn't it? Can I just have a word? Yeah, mate. Yeah, of course you can, fella. I really like Tez. We do definitely need to see a little more of Tez.
Yeah, we're getting down again. I'd love to see him again.
Daz said a load of nice things about us there, and also said it irks him, though, that the numbers are only a few hundred criminal. I agree. That's why you should click like, subscribe, touch us on the bell, and share the links, guys. Just share the links far and wide. No one will think worse of you for watching this what we do thing. Share them, get them out there. Everyone will love us.
Leave
Oh
it
God,
rolling
yeah.
as well.
Mark Wiles just reminded me there when he was stood there with the Hoover attachment trying to invent a boom mic. Do you know what the funny thing is? We couldn't have done it there and then because we were using the boom holder on the shotgun mic. In the back room, we have a boom because we make commercial videos there. We've got an actual boom.
I know, but there's so many people drinking though. It wasn't the time to go all question time.
But it was the fact that while I was sat there doing this show, and it was, believe me, it was wonderful and it was exciting and it was fun, and I was just watching Tez, and I was just wait. He had the Hoover pipe in one hand and a microphone in the other, and he was just looking at ways they might go together. I believe he considered sellotape, but he was wondering if he could push it into the tube. And it was beautiful. It was one of those rare moments where you go, I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, bless him. It's good though. That's exactly. In fact, you've just perfectly demonstrated what I was saying about the right attitude.
They're the guys you want on film sets. They're absolutely the guys you want. Usually to make up for the fact that the camera crew are complete arseholes. Really, really bitter, strange people that just want to constantly tell you how much better they are than everybody else.
Oh, mate. Oh, don't. Yeah, don't say that. I've got well. I don't know.
Not just the DPs as well. The actual camera guys. Well, I love it when they do it as if they couldn't be replaced. A camera operator. I'm a brilliant camera operator. Yeah, you ten a fucking penny, mate. Whatever.
I know a guy. I worked with a guy on a couple of films actually, and he was just a boy. He was a child, but he was so fucking good. Like, and then the first thing he was basically like a glorified runner. He was a runner, but he got given to the camera department. And then the next time I saw him, like a year later, he was the first assistant, and he could have easily run the whole thing. And the sound guy we worked with just completely poached him, and he's never stopped working since then because he was just so fucking good. And he's just a kid.
I think a lot of people don't know how stressful film sets are as well. They're horrifically stressful places.
No. It's really, really, really bad. In a good way, though.
We got asked, did we make a DVD of Meat Space? No. The idea behind Meat Space is that only some of it's broadcast. The rest, it stays in that room with the people who were in that room. Because that makes it kind of special. We were looking at ways of the next one doing some kind of access for all our patrons, but I'm not sure about that yet. There's a few things we've got to sort out that have just been diverted a little, but that would be cool to have digital access for people that just can't attend.
Yes, we would like to do that.
You say about that kid on the film set as well. That's good because I was a dick on the film set.
We did want to. Well, some people thought I was a dick actually, but I wasn't. They were just wrong.
No, I was just a dick. Well, I had a job to do, and I didn't care about anything else. And I always remember there was a Russian stuntman, and big fella he was. And that day he was going to throw himself into a hole in the ground dressed as a nun. And it just came out that the week after he had a fire stunt. And I was like, doesn't that hurt? Does it hurt? Is it the heat? Is it that painful? He went, this is my problem, not your problem. You go take care of your job. So I went, oh, fuck you then, dickhead. Hope it hurts.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, isn't there?
He was fine. Yeah. He was fine in the fire stunt. It was the week after that he broke his neck and died jumping into a pool of water. So you see, I fucking cursed him.
So he was just like, probably shouldn't have spoke to me the way he did.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's the way the cookie fucking crumbles. And when I sprayed one of the drivers with blood, wasn't on purpose, wasn't real blood. It's all right. But we were on a set that was built about 40 feet in the air. Because for some reason, they had the idea that if one part of the set was supposed to be above another part, we should just build it like that. So they built this massive cave system and just built it. It was really weird. And I wanted to see how well these big syringes work, so I went to the entrance of this cave, which was up on stilts, and so everyone stood there and just pumped about half a gallon out of one, and it just covered the fucker. I ran away.
Yeah, of course you did. Why were you building? I worked with a director once that was always like, yeah, let's get big, high, big, big.
Build it big.
Build it big.
Because there's nothing better than watching people haul a 35mm old 35mm camera. You know, the old ones with the big blimps on them and shit. This was proper old school stuff. Up into just a big rickety film set. I don't know why they had to build it high up. They didn't need that continuity, but it made them happy.
Yeah, yeah, it usually does. It usually does.
Well, listen, these are conversations we should be having off camera.
Reminiscing. Yeah. I used to be someone else.
It's when we were laughing earlier, weren't we, about repeating stories.
I know, yeah.
Did I ever tell you about? No, you didn't. No, tell me again.
I used to play the guitar.
Topperoon, yes, it was one horror. I worked on one film, 2 TV shows, then I found drugs and guitars. And that was the end. And the British film industry was dead. But yeah, it was one horror film shot in the Ukraine and then did a couple of TV things here. I'm sure there was something else I wanted to speak about. It's already 11:30.
What? How the freaking fook has that happened?
I don't know how's that happened. I've been having a lot of fun.
I know you've not been following that side of things quite as much, so I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I've been absolutely loving the impeachment. Like it's gone really quiet, and the reason it's gone really quiet is because it's just, no matter how it goes now, it's Trump winning, and it's how much of a clusterfuck it's going to be for the Democrats. Ukraine are now demanding that charges are brought against Joe Biden, that they're actually demanding it. It's so funny.
How else could this have played out? We said, even when they were talking, are you that desperate for another 4 years of Trump? Because that's exactly what you're going to ensure happens.
Yeah, they're fucked now, and
because even if they got it, he just fucking pardoned himself. That's all he done. It's finished. He's gone. It doesn't matter. It's bollocks. Absolute bollocks. The whole fucking thing's bollocks.
I'd love it if by some miracle he is actually removed, and then he just runs anyway and wins 2020. Like, that'd be fucking hilarious. Like, he just spent 6 months just chilling, doing his rallies, because obviously he's out fundraising everyone. He is the grassroots candidate right now. In terms of low donations, he's the grassroots, man. He's destroying everyone. That'd be fucking ace, wouldn't it? It's not going to happen, though. They're never going to remove him. And all this is doing is solidifying the phenomenal corruption and incompetence of the Democrats at the moment.
Yeah, they're a clusterfuck. They're a clusterfuck.
I love it so much. I love it. I wish I put a bet on 2 years for Trump to win, because I was saying he was going to win 2 years ago, and now it's just becoming more definite. The odds are going down.
I've just really enjoyed the fallout, mostly, if I'm honest. That's been my favourite thing. I love the wailing and the gnashing of teeth. You know, there's nothing I like more than people terribly upset. But only about shit you shouldn't be upset about. You know, because he's lying. Of course he's fucking lying. He's a president or a politician. Of course he's fucking lying. Why wouldn't he be fucking lying? It doesn't make sense that he wouldn't lie. That's what they do.
Well, here's another thing though. I can't remember his name now, but a guy just pointed out, and he's part of the administration. He pointed out that the coronavirus in China is going to have a positive effect on the U.S. economy, which is a reasonable assessment. Obviously, if their productivity's down, it's going to be good. I mean, if it's down for too long, it'll have a bad effect. But as it is at the moment, on the level it is, it's a reasonable assessation to make. Obviously, the Daily Beast and all them lot are going fucking mental.
Oh,
How
yeah.
dare you say this? I mean, it's his job to fucking say it, but how dare you say this? This is the problem with politicians. You're in a position where you're not allowed to be honest.
No.
If you are 100% down the line honest, you will get brutalized by journalists. And that's the trap. Because they will brutalize you for being honest, they're then catching you out in your lie or your vague statements that you make. That's all they're doing because they know you're lying and they know that they force you to lie. It's the whole game is completely rigged. And it's why
Of course
Trump
it is,
wins.
yeah. Of course.
It's why fucking Trump Jr. is going to win if something doesn't change.
Oh, God.
Or Melania. She's really popular as well.
I'd rather it was Melania than Trump Jr.
That'd be great.
Those boys are not too. Do you know what? I don't care about any. Those boys are not too good in the head. Those boys.
Sorry, American Rebellion is saying that if he's impeached, he won't be eligible. Oh, that'd be a shame, wouldn't it?
Right.
I mean, he's not going to be anyway.
It doesn't matter. He's just not going to be. I mean, I think a good thing. There's a really good reason to be very positive about Trump is that Aphid Lip just loses his shit about it.
Hey, I tell you this: Obama was telling us we'd be at the back of the queue. No trade deals on Brexit.
That's true. He came over here to change our minds.
Yeah. Whereas Trump's saying, no, we want one, actually. That'd be really good. It's kind of shit being on WTO terms. And it is, I send stuff to and from America all the time. My computer came from America. And it's really, really expensive, man. A nice little trade deal will do as well. And Trump's going to give us that.
Well, I hope so. I'm just looking there. Smoke Steve rightly points out Melania is foreign born and can't be president. I think you need to change that rule.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I thought of Melania. People are saying Melania, but she is foreign born. Imagine if they changed it though. It'd be
what
great.
would be wrong with having a foreign born porn star that married for love?
I think it's natural born, so it's actually like there's a little bit of contention there, isn't it? It's interpreted legally, and it is legally at the moment. You have to be born in America, or at least an American citizen. So your mum can be on holiday and you're still American or whatever. But the actual wording of it, though, there is a little bit of wriggle room there. But I don't think it's going to happen now. I don't think that's going to be top of Trump's list fix, is it?
No. No.
He's just busy destroying 2020. And oh my God, if the Democrats actually pass the popular vote thing, it is going to be a fucking
it's going to be crazy. I think someone's saying about drink the Kool-Aid, folks. Someone mentioned Jim Jones. It's Flavor Aid, by the way. It really just boiled my pit because it was Flavor Aid again, not Kool-Aid.
Was it?
Because that's important. It's just one of those autistic fucking reactions. I can't just... The reason we'll be pro-Trump, anti-Trump, is because this stance people are taking these days of being ferociously loyal to a political ideal or party is not healthy and it's not natural. It's very unhealthy. You have to be able to accept the faults of even those you support and be ready to criticise them. Not be so determined to ignore them because you're point scoring against a political opponent when neither side really truly gives a fuck about you. And I think it's really important that we do all look at every side that we can. We can't ignore a Democrat because they're Democrats. We can't ignore a Republican because they're Republicans. It's no way to run a railroad. It's not, and we're encouraged to think that way because it makes us more marketable and easier to market to. Why do you think the news channels choose their side? Fox, CNN. Why do you think they do that? It's because they have a demographic, and the more people can be polarized, the easier these things are.
Right now, though, I'm happy with Trump because Brexit, the movement around Brexit and the movement around Trump, MAGA, they're linked. They're part of the same beast. So for me right now, with us leaving and having 2020 to do this trade deal, and that it is going to be massively in Trump's interests. Obviously, he's going to do it. He's going to be looking out for America, and I respect that. But it's going to be massively in his interests to do a good deal.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be in our interests too, because a good deal with America is a huge fuck you to all the naysayers and all the fear and all the panic. You know, if our economies are more positively linked, then we're going to be laughing. We just need to work out this digital tax thing at the moment, because right now, Google and Amazon and all that are using it. They're all based in Ireland, aren't they? Because
Yeah.
that's the tax haven. And you know, so for anyone that doesn't know, what they're suggesting is a 2% tax on the country where, you know, a sales tax in the country where the transaction happened. Which, to be honest, I'd be happy with, as long as we just like, all right, yeah, let's do that, but let's just get rid of corporation tax then.
But you know, when that American politician who was over for Davos said, you know, well, we're just going to start putting fucking tariffs on your cars if you start taxing Google and Amazon. It's like, dude, they don't pay any fucking tax in your country either.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a believer we should tax them massively, because
Well,
whether
federal
people
taxing,
like it or not, you know, they make a lot of money. They employ a shit ton of people, more so Amazon than Facebook, to be fair. Put a load into infrastructure. They pay all the business rates, you know, on the premises. They pay all the staff. The money all goes back into the economy anyway. You have to be realistic about these things. Taxing Amazon at 40% is a stupid fucking idea.
Of course it is. Yeah.
So that you have to be more realistic, but it's easier to, again, choose these extremes because it sounds good one way or another. So we've still got a bit of that tit for tat stuff. Yeah, you know what? All these companies could just make everything a lot better by just paying a little. It'd never be enough for the, you know, the Corbynista, and it'll always be too much for the guys over on the other side. But pay a little.
Well,
pay something.
Look,
you know?
look at fucking Florida right now. Right, Cortez is there doing this. Did you see her MLK Day interview? No. And she's got all these fucking sycophants cheering, and she's like, you know, we just need to get the billionaires to pay their fair share, and, you know, progressive tax rates and all this shit, whilst New York, her fucking city, is losing money, whilst it is hemorrhaging people, hemorrhaging revenue at a phenomenal rate, partly because fucking, I'll go into another thing that Trump did with the taxes there. And Florida, that's getting rid of taxes, they've got 16 billion. That was their revenue. They are out earning as a state all the other. The next state down is like 2.5 billion.
Oh yeah. They're doing
Florida
fantastic.
is fucking killing it. So you can give me the nonsense about like getting corporations to pay a bit more. But Florida has just proven to everyone, like over and over again, no, if you get rid of that, you make more money. The money comes there. Why? Well, one of the things is the transaction tax. It's not an unreasonable thing. You know, it's like if you're a rich guy and you spend a shitload of money, there's you paying your bit more.
Well, you know my personal views of this. I'm more Keynesian. Yeah, but that's more in terms of the population. But where these big companies are concerned, the first thing I spoke to Stephen, you know, who's an accountant and an economist and a very sharp guy. And it was a few years ago, it was him that really walked me through how much revenue they generate for the state on their own, because all their employee taxes are paid.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the employee taxes.
And then the employees go and spend that money, and there's VAT on that. So he walked me through the benefits of having these giant companies and the fact that charging them £1 billion a year would actually see you making a net loss.
Yeah. 100%. I totally agree.
It's always been my point of view: be more attractive to business, your country will be enriched. But no one will look at it like that, because all they'll look at is, well, Google make 20 billion here and they pay £18.50. Okay, but there's this. No, I'm not looking at that. It's too complicated. It doesn't fit.
No. We're just looking at corporation tax. You know, it
doesn't fit my ideal. It doesn't fit what I'm thinking, so I'm not looking at the realistic picture. It is harder to justify with something like Facebook because they don't have as massive a staff over here. But someone like Amazon, the amount of fulfillment centers, the thousands of people they employ.
Well, that shit that they pissed up the wall in New York, the 25,000 jobs, and AOC was claiming because we were going to give money away. The average wage was going to be $150,000 a year. Now, I know in New York that's not a crazy amount of money.
But it is a crazy amount of money. Let's be honest. It's all right.
That was money. That was taxable income. That was people buying flats, renting places. That was people buying food, buying iPads, buying loads of stuff that also gets taxed. You know, that was going to pay for the fucking subway that's falling apart.
Well, isn't the other
and
side
then it
of
goes,
it?
and they're like, and they're cheering. They're fucking cheering because all they look at is the corporation tax.
Well,
they
there's
don't
the thing,
have the
isn't it?
imagination.
They've, you know, we can see a company be bailed out, but we can't watch someone go, do you know what, just don't pay that corporation tax. Because, A, they never pay the full amount to you anyway. They're far too fucking clever, and it sees more of their facilities going overseas to countries that don't charge them. So we've got to be smart about this and say, okay, right, this is how it's going to be. You come, you build, but you know, I mean, you could even do something really clever, like, you know, when Manchester City moved into East Manchester, most deprived area in the UK at one point.
Yeah, like genuinely, like
Yeah.
in terms of Europe, it was topping death lists.
Yeah,
life
it was terrible area. I lived there.
Yeah, it was really bad.
But here's the thing: Man City came in, billionaire owners from the Middle East, multiple billionaires. But they invested in local infrastructure. So the thing I'd try to sell to these massive companies is, right, come here, invest in a local infrastructure, the training of people, it all feeds into your business. It's good for the community, but we'll do away with corporation tax. Now, to me, there's a trade-off there because, A, it shuts people the fuck up. Massive benefit for the locals, massive benefit for the company, builds loyalty. Everyone's happy. Invest. No company would say, I'd rather pay 100 million in tax than go, yeah, all right, we'll build a school and we'll build a sports centre and we'll build a training centre and an academy for 100 million. They'd much rather invest in that because that's an investment. It means something. Tax is just doesn't mean. That's what we should be encouraging. You know, if you want a tax-free deal and preferential land choices and all these things, you have to invest in the community, in the area you're in, which is in everyone's interest going forward. Because someone like Amazon isn't moving in to only be here for 2 years and close the shop.
No, of course not.
So
no.
Work together. These are the deals I would be far, far more interested in seeing. Now, the area where it happened, what happened is it's still not a great area. And they did knock down, well, Man City didn't, but the council knocked down a lot of terraced houses and built houses, you know, allowed developers to build houses the locals couldn't afford. But even over the estates that are there, it's not as bad as it used to be because there's more local business. There's the massive Asda Walmart. You know, there's all these new things being built. There's more employment. It all has a knock-on effect.
Yeah, of course it
does. But the more you encourage it, the more that knock-on effect is, which Florida's seen. And Florida's awesome because it's lovely and sunny. It's tax-free for the big businesses and it's full of fucking lunatics.
Yeah, but it's tax. It's federal tax-free for the lowest workers as well. That's the thing. You know, obviously, I mean, I know people down there and they've got jobs in offices and that, and it's very similar to what we have here. You know, their company will just take a bit out every week for the taxes, and then gets to the end of the year, there's always fuck all to do. In fact, a lot of the time you've overpaid because they just take a little bit too much off you, but it fucking works. My issue in the UK with taxes and corporation tax is so much of that money is just going straight to fucking London.
Oh yeah,
it's supporting their, you know, we've got like publicly owned buses and that, and it's like, yeah, because you fucking rape the entire country of its revenue.
Oh, that's happened, by the way. You know, the things they discussed with Theresa May are now coming to pass, and it's been very quiet. You know, Boris Johnson said, we will reward you for lending us your vote. They're doing that by taking more money out of the poor areas to put into the nice parts down south.
Nationalising the trains, though, aren't they? They've got started on that. I didn't think that was going to fucking happen.
Oh, First. Do you know what? I don't think they had a choice with First. First it's just a fucking basket case. But that's fine. It's just the fact that they're pulling millions out of really poor areas and giving it to leafy places. And it's like, well, yeah, of course that's going to happen. It's the Tories. You know, what were you expecting? A kinder, gentler, conservative, Just got to crack on, guys. Just
I
gotta
know
crack
that's
on.
why they don't even it's hard to explain. Like I try, in terms of through the American lens, we have two left wing parties here. The Conservatives are basically just the Democrats in America. We don't really have a proper right wing government here, or a right wing party, one that's actually interested in sort of like reducing its
I
size,
think you'll
lowering
find
taxes.
that our right is the correct one. It is the mother of all parliaments. I'm warning you, Boo. Don't get carried away again.
It's just different. We just have two. We just have two kinds of left here. We have a capitalistic left and a socialist left, but there's very little difference here, and you get the same problems. We don't actually get any kind of like, you know, there's always a balance, isn't there? There's a toss up. And you know, with the Tories, with the Conservatives, it should be like, oh God, they're just corrupt bastards. But at least the tax bill's going down. At least my tax, you know what I mean? Like, oh.
Well, to be fair, do you know what?
But that doesn't happen.
But
They're
I hate to
just
say
bastards,
this,
and
it does.
stays.
Taxation doesn't rise anywhere near as quick with Tories.
No, that's true.
It's just the way it is. The Conservatives, they can't do that.
I mean, well, look at petrol prices, man. I remember during the Labour government, they were higher than they are now. You know, and that was fucking 10 years ago. It's insane. And it's the same for booze as well, although I don't really buy
Let's be
much
honest,
of that.
though. We need to come to a conclusion because I want to go. I've got so much work to do, dude.
Hayden!
I've got so much work to do, and we've done overtime. We've done 1 hour and 20. That's not bad.
Fucking fucks. It's not fair.
Yeah, I don't say that when you're fucking a bit tired tonight. Can we?
Go. You know what, though, dude? I've got a big day tomorrow. You're right, though. I need to go. I need to go. You're right.
Now, I might. It's no promises. If I can, because I have got so much to do. But if I can, I might pop on around Brexit time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be drunk for reasons completely unrelated to Brexit. But if you do pop on, I'll be there in the chat for sure.
So remember, guys, young Alex has been posting links to the GoFundMe to help us rebuild this studio. If you are so inclined, we massively appreciate everyone that's helped us so far. It's been wonderful of you. Thank you so much for spending your time with us this evening. I've really enjoyed it this evening.
Me too. I have.
We'll be back on Tuesday with Trigger Warning Tuesday. And with any luck, if things go well in the next couple of weeks, we're back in the studio. Fingers crossed, eh? Fingers crossed. Yes. But until then, we'll be back on Tuesday. And if I can, I may pop on for a cheeky stream tomorrow night with a little drinky to celebrate what I'll have to do for Brexit right now, to be honest.
I'm so gutted I'm going to be away because I'd love to do a stream with all the Braveheart makeup on and that.
Well, we were going to, weren't we?
We were going. Well, yeah, we were going to go in the studio, weren't we, and have a proper thing of it. But obviously,
well, it doesn't always pan out that way, does it?
No.
But it doesn't matter because we're back on Tuesday. But I will, like I say, try and get on tomorrow night around Brexit time. There or thereabouts, and we'll see you soon. For those that don't catch up with, have a cracking weekend. And subscribe, like, follow us on social, do all that shit. Spread this shit like the coronavirus. And we'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye. Ooh.